Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome to Fuck Back. Let's just dig right into it. Now, this is the two reasons why people think Errol Spence Jr. will beat Mikey Garcia. And let's just break down the two reasons and go over them. And the first reason has to be because of the size and weight advantage of Errol Spence. Because he's such a massive fighter, he's a naturally bigger fighter than a welterweight. If we're being honest and unbiased, Errol Spence Jr. is at least a 154-pounder naturally. Just because he's fought at 147 and that's his primary weight doesn't mean that that's his natural weight. You have to understand that Errol Spence Jr. himself came out of his own mouth that he could fight as high as 168 pounds, and he will be moving up to 160 sooner than most people think. So if we're being honest and objective about the situation, Errol Spence Jr.'s size and weight advantage is going to be one of the reasons why most people think that Errol Spence Jr. is going to beat Mikey Garcia. Now, the reason why we have to go over this is because these are the fundamental reasons why people believe that Mikey is at a disadvantage against Errol Spence, and this is why they believe he's going to win. And I'd like to counteract that debate because I think that Mikey can overcome size and can overcome weight. But when you look at Errol Spence Jr., weight will be a factor, size and power will be a factor. So I lump all of those things in there together. Power will definitely be a factor, and I lump size, power, and weight all in the same category. But you have to be honest and unbiased when you do it. The next reason why I believe that most people give Errol Spence the edge to beat Mikey Garcia, the second reason has to be, now get ready for it, is absolute hype. A lot of people have been hyping Errol Spence Jr. up as of late. They've been putting him in a league of his own. I've seen so many people in biased fanboy comments stating things like, Errol Spence Jr., he outboxed Floyd Mayweather and destroyed him in sparring. And if we're honest and unbiased when we look at that, he did not outbox Floyd Mayweather in sparring. And then you also have to look at it. Errol Spence Jr. is a ginormous fighter when he's in sparring. When he fought Adrian Broner, he was over 20 plus pounds heavier than Adrian Broner when they fought in sparring. So you have to be honest and unbiased like that. He caught Floyd with one good shot. And that's a quote from Floyd. He caught him with a good shot. That didn't mean he knocked him out, didn't mean he knocked him down, mean he caught him with a good shot that hurt him. You would expect that from a guy over 20 plus pounds bigger than you. That's what you would come to expect. You have to understand that Errol Spence Jr. would probably fight in Floyd like that was the biggest and best fight of his life just in a simple sparring session because he had something to prove. Floyd probably was taking that sparring as casual as one could take it, and Spence came in there and got him with a good shot. That's meaningless to me. That proves nothing to me because in the actual fight, we see what a big puncher like Marcos Maidana did to Floyd, caught him with a good shot right on the button, right on the bell, but it meant much of nothing. So if we're being honest and unbiased about it, these are the two reasons why, most people are picking Errol Spence Jr. to win. The first reason has to be his size, weight, power advantage. And what I believe, if you're an elite level boxer, if you have elite level skill set, you can overcome those. The second reason is hype. People just give Errol Spence Jr. more boxing credit than he truly deserves. Errol Spence Jr. is a good fighter and he's an elite level body puncher, and I like Errol Spence Jr. He's a quality fighter, a nice guy, but at the end of the day, I believe that Mikey Garcia will beat him with vast superior skills. A lot of people, I would never blame anyone for picking Errol Spence Jr. But then you have to look at it. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. It's skills against the big man. Not a big man with skills, just a big man. Because no one has ever mistaken Errol Spence Jr. other than a fanboy for saying that Errol Spence Jr. has elite level skills. Errol Spence Jr. does not move his head enough. And you can pretty much get that from anyone that knows boxing, anyone that, we shall say, knows their sport, knows that Errol Spence Jr. does not move his head enough, that he's lackadaisical on defense, and that will cost him in fights in the future. But Errol Spence Jr. has a paper-thin resume as well. So these are the reasons why people think he'll beat Mikey. But if we dissect them and look at them logically, the only reason that people have any fear for Mikey is because, most of people will say if this fight was at the same weight and this is the same size guy, they pick Mikey all day, and that's clearly because he's far superior in skills. Now you have to understand that Manny Pacquiao, De La Hoya overcame that because you can overcome a size advantage. You have to understand that. You look at Ali and Foreman, you look at Floyd and Canelo, you look at so many different matchups where guys with skill overcome size again and again and again. And it's because skills pays the bills. So be careful when you analyze the fight and you look at it, because you have to look at the skill sets of each fighter. Once again, Unbiased as always is the Ibfp. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.